Welcome to another lost railway town. We're on tour, we're in Scotland, we're in the little town of Buckie. It's on the Moray coast. So it's just, if you don't know Scotland very well, east of Inverness. Now, very famous for shipping and shipbuilding. Lots of industry going on around here. I've had a walk around the town, lots going on industrial wise. It's a strange place. It's not very touristy at all, but then, you know, why would it? It's a very industrial town, very much active harbour still, even these days. To start the story of Buckie's railway history, I've come here just east of the town, just to the little village of Portessie. I'm just on the fringe of the old railway station here. That's Portessie railway station, that is. And that's because in 1884 we had the Highland Railway. That was first to arrive. That was the first railway to arrive in Buckie. And that was the line from Keith to Buckie. But it actually terminated, it actually went through Buckie and terminated here at Portessie. But it was actually a joint station with the Great North of Scotland Railway. And that's, I'm walking actually on that old Great North of Scotland Railway here, but we'll get on more onto that line shortly because I just want to cover off some things on this old Highland Railway. So I'm going to see what remains there are over here. Now, I have read that there may be some station platform remains. So I said it was a shared station with the Great North of Scotland Railway. We had a two-bay engine shed, a water tower, turntable and a signal box. It was actually in 1886 that the Moray coastline, the Great North of Scotland line, arrived in Buckie. Here's some remains, look. It's looking a bit overgrown now. I have seen some old photographs of around here, and it's nothing like, doesn't look anything like on the photographs. So there we go, see that platform? It does look like it, doesn't it? It's quite a decent length of platform, isn't it, that? So those two lines, the Great North of Scotland and the earlier Highland Railway, they ran parallel for a short distance here, just on the way into Buckie. And the Great North of Scotland Railway carried on down the coast, and that branched inland down there, down towards Keith. But after the grouping of the railways, the lines went in separate directions as well in terms of the companies they got grouped into. The LMS took the Highland Railway, and we had the LNER, the London North Eastern Railway. They took over the Great North of Scotland Railway. But the Highland Railway, that lost its service in 1915, and it closed for goods traffic in the late 1940s. So that closed quite a bit earlier than the LNER. The Great North of Scotland line, that closed in the 1960s. And you'll see this cycle trail that's been put in these days. This loosely follows the Great North of Scotland, the Moray coastline. And I said, didn't I, that the Highland Railway running alongside, that's just in there somewhere, in that dense gorse. Now, before we say goodbye to the Highland Railway line there, that line did have another station in Buckie. But I don't think there are any remains of that Highland Railway station in Buckie. It just looks like it's just been consumed by a housing estate now. But an interesting little fact just about that Highland Railway, just leaving the other side of Buckie there, the tracks were requisitioned before World War I for that railway, and it remained abandoned for a number of years, but it did get relaid a number of years later. So that's Portessie station. Now, I'm sure that there's more remains to be found in and amongst all that thick undergrowth. And we made our way into, well, I suppose, the centre of Buckie, really, into the heart of Buckie. We're coming to have a look at what remains of this Great North of Scotland railway station. More fishing paraphernalia there, net repair area. So all this down this side here, this is the railway line. These nets are sat on the railway line. This is just east of Buckie station, and all this was a goods area here. If I just show you the maps, and I'll just show you exactly where the station is in Buckie, look, because we're right by the coast here. Look, there's one of the harbours there, a little lighthouse at the end of the breakwater. Here's the station, look, right near the front. As I say, this was the Great North of Scotland Railway station. Later LNER, as I mentioned, up at Portessie. We're just going to have a walk through the route that the railway took through the town. It's got an information board here just by the entrance to the station. I thought it might have been something to do with the railway, but no mention of the railway on there. So 1886 this line opened. Now we'll just show you here that we've got an abutment here, just on the left hand side here. Now if I'm reading the maps correctly, this is the abutment from the old footbridge on the station. Yeah, you can see when you get to this side, look, that's not wide enough for a road, is it? And we've got the equivalent one at this side, but obviously not in as good a condition. So let's have a walk through the site of the old station, shall we? So if you're new to this channel, welcome. This is what I do. I do the railway history, exploration, looking round. This is part of a series I'm doing, looking around towns that used to have a railway, no longer have a railway, like Buckie. And I'm doing a number of these while I've got a week in Scotland. And anyone who is familiar to my channel, wondering what I'm doing in the north of Scotland, that's why. I'm just on holiday, so taking an opportunity to see some of the local railway sites, taking some of the railway history. And we have the remains of the footbridge, but I think that's it, isn't it? There's nothing else of the Buckie, Great North of Scotland railway station. And there's not even a hint that I've seen, unless I've missed something. No signs, no information boards, anything like that. The railway's just been forgotten. We have got this little bridge, look, stairway going down. That'll be in a tunnel, passageway under the railway line there. So after leaving the railway station, the railway went through quite a deep cutting as it headed west through the town and out the other end. And we're going to see some evidence of that shortly. So it was single track, and the majority of this line was in fact single track. And we've got a retaining wall here, look. And this is just coming up here into the first bit of infilling that we're going to see since leaving the station. And the path goes up onto the road here, so this would have been a bridge, wouldn't it? And that's looking down into well, it's sat on a shelf here, wasn't it? Look, the railway. An embankment on the left, cutting on the right. But it goes through this, just went through this bridge here and through the cutting. You can see that quite clearly on the maps. So that's the bridge, and just look at the other side of the bridge. It's all infilled, isn't it? And all this green area and this car park here, all built on top of that infilled section, infilled cutting. Lots and lots of history celebrated with the fishing, etc. Information boards, lots of nods to the fishing industry. Again, not really anything to the railway. And there's the Fishing Heritage Centre in Buckie, right on the side, literally right on the railway here. Oh, look at this, first evidence of a railway line. And we're still walking along the top of this infilled section, but I don't think it's got that much further to go now. And there is the green area. You look from above on the satellite views, you can quite clearly see that it is, you know, infilled cutting if you're looking for that type of thing, if you know your railways. But look, this is where it seems to end, because we've got a ravine that went under the railway here. And is this the original bridge? Is this a railway bridge? Yeah, so look, we've just dropped down here. So yeah, this is where the cutting would have started, look, that's been filled in. And walking over a railway bridge or a viaduct. And that down there is the burn of Buckie. I'm just trying to get over the side. It's just a single arch span, isn't it? Impressive bridge though, this. To say there's been nothing really much left in the Thames in the way of infrastructure. Nice little remain. There's just one more thing I wanted to show you with the railway line here, look. So we've just been walking from in that direction. The alignment kind of continues out of view until we get this lovely old footbridge, look, that's still open. Old iron lattice footbridge, and there's the railway line, look down there, that's the track bed. Brilliant. They could do with a lick of paint this, they could do with a little bit of love, this footbridge. Doesn't look like it's seen much maintenance, I'm guessing since the railway's closed. Just look at that, isn't that lovely? Yeah, great place to snap a train coming through here, wouldn't it? And just going out at the other end of Buckie, just down there, we did have another station, because we're just coming into the little area of Buckpool. That wasn't a huge station, just a little halt really, but nothing remains of that station these days. I actually have one more thing to show you, sorry, just after that footbridge. This is actually before the footbridge, the Buckie side of the footbridge. And look, these old bridge abutments. So, the railway coming over the top here. I'm just sitting on a little shelf there, isn't it? Can't see over this wall, but can I poke the camera over? Just to have a look on the track bed there. This is Buckpool harbour, look, you can see all the inside of the harbour's all been infilled as well. Quite ironic really, isn't it? I've just been following that infilled railway line. But I've just come over here really to see if I could get a view out to sea, because it's been a little bit lacking in terms of being able to find some viewpoints from the promenade in Buckie itself. But these sea walls are quite high, aren't they? Let's have a look through the entrance to the harbour then. Great. Nice that though, isn't it? It's always this nice in Scotland. It's like 24 degrees today. I've really packed too many coats. Whereas I'm filming this, it is in the 30s back at home, back in Derbyshire, so quite enjoying the lower but amicable temperatures really. So that was Buckie, and that was the story of the lost railway town of Buckie. So if this is the first video that you've seen of mine, because I'm in a new territory there, just give the video a like. I hope you've been able to understand my accent. There are subtitles somewhere on the YouTube interface. And don't forget to leave me a comment if you've got any memories or anything anything you know about the railway line, any photos. I love to hear people's memories about when I visit places like this. People who've got these memories of when the railway was either in a disused state but more accessible, or when it, even better, when it was in use, prior to those 1960s beaching cuts. But we'll have plenty more videos from up here in Scotland to show you over the course of the next few weeks or months. So thanks for watching, we'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra!